I have zero experience building cars, but my friend Zeep here needs a new ride, and I'm going to build him a new car. As you can see, Zeep is dimensionally challenged and is currently confined to the second dimension, where he still needs to go to 2D work at the 2D factory. Unlike our pal Zeep in his factory, our car can't be a magical thing that seems to function despite the lack of a third dimension. We need to build an actually functioning car on a 2D plane of reality. Otherwise, our friend might have to walk to work his whole life because he only gets paid 2 cents an hour due to his lack of a third dimension, of course. To do this, I am using a drawing application on my computer. Any drawing app would work, but I'm using Kira for Windows 10 because of its simplicity and freeness, to which a link in the description will be assigned to in case you want to try it yourself. First, I want to draw the body or chassis of Zeep's car, and a nice seat for him to sit in, and some nice wheels. But this raises a problem. How do we move our wheels without access to space behind or in front of our wheels? My first thought was bearings, like cars in our world would have, except I can't reach the center of the bearing to make a way to move them. I tried making some kind of half bearing, then I realized this would not function properly, even if I managed to make a wheel. I have absolutely zero way of rotating it, as the only moving parts I have are the ones on Zeep's 2D body. My next thought was a tread, like those of a tank used in war. But again, I could not make a bearing, so this is also impossible as far as I know. Similarly to a tread, I have here a line of balls that he can roll the chassis on top of. However, doing this left balls behind. But no matter, Zeep can just pick up the back ball and move it to the front, successfully adding more balls for him to slide the chassis on top of. Instead of getting off of his vehicle and pushing it with his feet and arms, he can push off of a stick from the chair. But doing this is not fast, not even faster than him walking, and is extremely manual labor hungry. Doing this, poor little Zeep will have to leave for work hours early, and he will be exhausted before even getting to the company driveway. Thankfully, Zeep's world is flat because this car wouldn't make it up any hills, because he would just slide back down to the bottom. So how does Zeep get to work? Because he certainly can't drive the car I made him. Then I started to think of other vehicles, like a bike or a motorcycle, but they all have the same problems as my car. Then I had done it. I'd came up with the idea that would be the backbone of Zeep's transportation efforts for the rest of his two-dimensional life. Stilts. Zeep can simply use stilts to get to work every day. We can't attach these stilts to him, so he can use cages for his feet to move them, or just grip them very, very hard. Assuming there's no air resistance, he could easily move quickly around his 2D town. And his stilts could be very tall, moving him even faster. When he gets to work, he can just slide down them like a fire pole. And to get back to the top of his stilts, he could go to the second floor of any building and just jump out the window straight onto his stilts. You're welcome, little Zeep. Now, as I said, I have zero experience building cars or any vehicles, and I'm sure I'm making tons of oversights, and there might just be ways to make actual 2D cars. But until then, little Zeep will have to use these stilts. If there's anything you think that I could have done or some problem with my stilts, feel free to kindly drop a comment down below. Or don't, I'm not your dad. Once again, you can check out Kira via link in the description. Have a nice rest of your life.
I'm going to sleep.